Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for Joker. Now, I want to start by addressing the controversies surrounding the build-up to and the day since release of the Joker film by simply saying that I find it all quite ridiculous. The film raises hard questions on mental health, morality and ultra-violence, but anyone who has either studied film or is a lover of cinema will know firsthand that in every generation there is a film which challenges and pushes the extremes of the norm, a film that raises difficult questions. And in every generation there are those in the media or other groups that demand its removal and question its potential impact upon society. I am not the media, nor am I party to any specific societal group. I am simply a geek in his spare room, passing to you, my lovely viewers or readers, my opinion of a film, in the hopes that we can talk about it further across the distances of the internet. And that is how I intend to keep these reviews. I intend to stay away from as much as possible, regarding these controversial ideas and takes about the film. So, with that out of the way, let's get straight to it. Now, The Joker is one of the best films of the year, and I say that without any hesitation whatsoever. Joaquin Phoenix must surely be nominated, and in my humble geek-ridden opinion, must win it. He must win the Oscar for Best Actor. Todd Phillips, the director, must surely be nominated for Best Director and stand a reasonable chance of winning it. Why? Because what these two men have created is a deep, dark and terrifying character study of a creature abused and suffering in a world that doesn't care, who finds his true self through chaos and disorder. And that is just as basic as I could put it. I will stay as far as possible away from spoilers as I can, but suffice to say that Joaquin Phoenix has created and crafted a character that is so fractured and so deeply flawed, yet he's oddly balletic, and every detail is honestly raw. Every moment of his fall, or his rise, depending on how you see it, in the film is painted so painfully and feels so intricately harsh, but you align yourself with his plight despite how extreme his actions become. That is incredible. It's highly reminiscent of Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. The film plays a lot of homages to Taxi Driver, with the whole basic character structure. So Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro, who has a part in this film. It's a great part, probably his best role in years, I would say. So where Travis Bickle's actions in Taxi Driver in the last portion of the movie could be seen as justified, but the extreme manner of the way he executed it raises too many questions. The same is here. Arthur, at his lowest ebb, is confronted with something that makes him snap. Interestingly enough, one could argue that his initial reaction is in fact one of self-defense. I've heard that argument, I've read that argument, but it is the manner of how he continues and his reaction where the lines of his morality are crossed. But Joaquin Phoenix sells every single moment. This is an actor in immense and incredible form. There is not a single moment where his on-screen presence is too much. Everything is measured. His mannerisms, his gait, even the way he walks and runs initially is laboured, and he looks like he's in pain. He is hunched over. He looks ill, to put it bluntly. He looks ill. But as he evolves into the very being he is meant to be, he begins to appear more confident. He strides, his voice, his demeanour, he finds more elegance, which is so strange. He finds more elegance, and nothing solidifies this more than his laugh. Now, the Joker laugh is something that fans look to immediately. Heath Ledger's was shrill and manic. Jack Nicholson's was cackling and loud. Mark Hamill's in the animated Batman series during the 90s was someone who finds everything to be the very essence of the joke. And Jared Leto as well, yeah. Anyway, Joaquin Phoenix Joaquin Phoenix's laugh is unique in that there is a physical pain to it. It is uncontrollable and it hurts and hinders him at all times. It is his one true Achilles heel, and while it doesn't necessarily form or inform his Joker facade, it serves as a link to his past and everything that has happened to him and that he has gone through. The laugh is the anchor to his previous life before his transformation, and that is what makes everything so much more crazy. Now, director Todd Phillips is just as much at the height of his game here as Joaquin Phoenix is. Apparently creating this film as a comment to how the blame culture has ruined creating comedy. A great line in this film, and a phrase which is quite common, is comedy is subjective. Now, everything Todd Phillips showcases here is subjective depending on your point of view. Arthur never sets out to create a movement, but his actions inspire a whole city for better and indeed horrifyingly for worse. Now, Phillips mirrors Arthur's journey expertly. The colours and the framing is initially lifeless and drab in the early stages of the film. As Arthur grows, the colours bleed back into the frames, almost creating a rainbow, dream-like nature to the whole final third of the film, which crosses another barrier when all this ultra-violence is happening at the same time. The colours explode onto the screen along with lots of other things. I found it interesting that while watching the Joker, and despite the references to Batman lore, and there are many of them, to be honest, there are many of them, and it even plays into the significance of the script and the events that take place, not once did I feel like this was a comic book movie. It is so far removed from a comic book film that it could be anything, and it could stand on its own 2 feet quite confidently and quite proudly. The whole thing to do with Batman is simply the icing on the cake. That is a great success of the film. The confidence it has to stride into the darkest aspects of the character, feel unique, and yet have a lasting impact on the wider world in which it inhabits and which it is set upon. But at the same time, to not have it feel like it's being dragged down by, previous incarnations of the Joker, or indeed that Batman lore, which is so prevalent and can sometimes really weigh down an entirety of the film. I mean, the Suicide Squad, it never felt free from the shadow of the Batman. And maybe it shouldn't have been. Maybe there should have been more of him in. Who knows? But Joker paints its own picture, and it's fantastic because of it. Joker is deeply disturbing, violently extreme, but a magnificently crafted character study, and it's a must-see. It's a must-see for the performance alone. The fact that there is the whole Batman connection just makes it that bit more sweeter. But I cannot recommend this film enough. It is mesmerizing, and it's unforgettable. And I will be giving this film a 10 out of 10 purely because of that. I would highly recommend watching it and watching it again, which I am planning to do. So there you have it, 10 out of 10. So what comes next? Well, there's quite a lot of films coming out actually. Looking forward to Doctor Sleep. There is Gemini Man, which is coming out. It's kind of snuck out, I didn't really notice it. And that is Will Smith fighting Will Smith. It's got to be worth a shot, surely. Apparently that film's been in development hell for about 20 years. We'll see what happens. I think reviews are up for it, but I've not read any, and I don't plan to. I'd rather see it on my own footing. But we'll see. There's a lot of films coming out. I might not get to all of them, but who knows. So I'm going to leave it there for today. 10 out of 10. Joker. Get it watched. You have to. Fantastic. Bye-bye, everyone.